Welcome to the Fantasy Draft Room. I am Chase. With me, as always, my man Cody. What do we got going on tonight?
As you can see, we're doing a underdog draft here. I think we got Best Ball Mania 4 kicking off. We're joining up in a late night one here. Figured we'd hop on and record one of these for y'all. Of course, as you see in the bottom, promo code for Underdog Fantasy TFDR at sign up. Get your $10 to $100 deposit match. If you do deposit that $10 or more, 1 year of Destination Devi Discord access, best place you can be, where you can get pretty much infinite access to us and all the Destination Devi crew rocking it over there, putting out a bunch of content each and every single week. J Rich is dropping a weekly update for the ADP changes on the board. Hell of a place to be. The best way you can get information to dominate these underdog drafts, especially Best Ball Mania, puppy drafts, whatever fits your needs. But here we are rocking a Best Ball 4 Mania draft. First one that we're dropping for Best Ball Mania 4. So good to get you kicking off for one of these.
Yeah, man, I was actually planning to wait until the NFL schedule was out, so I had like a full idea of bye week issues, things like that running into the playoffs. However, we're going to fire one up here the night before, and so this will probably drop the day of. But still, I at least wanted to get one in here. But I do plan on, I'd say, doing about 50 to 100 of these. We'll see. So I do plan on banging out some BBM4 drafts over the next few, well, hopefully month and 2 months. We'll see how long it stays open, but we'll play it by ear and figure that out. So draft kicked off, and I'm going to have all of the tools that we have available uploaded, or at least available from the Destination Devi Discord. I'm going to start using those this weekend when once I have that schedule released. So we'll see how this goes. Going to kind of wing it with the ADP and the guys that I believe in, or we believe in, for this upcoming season.
Yeah, and there we go. We got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and CMC off the board so far. We landed in a 9 spot. I don't know exactly how's the 9 spot been feeling for you, Chase. I know you were in a lot of these big board drafts before we were really kicking off here, and so you've been doing a lot more of these than I have personally. So this 9 spot here, probably not really the best spot. We don't really get those high end wide receivers, the Chase, Jefferson, Hill. Kelsey's already off the board here as we see him go to. Anybody we're really looking at? I see you're putting Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler up here at the 109 for us.
Yeah, it's such a tough spot, to be honest with you. At least early in the when I was doing the big boards, I did not like drafting in that like 7, 8, 9 slot. You're kind of at the mercy of those on the turn and hoping that things kind of come back and wrap around to you. Bijan Robinson's ADP has gone up quite a bit from what we were drafting, and you see that his ADP is at 7. It was around 13 or 14, so he just came off the board. So I do have Stephon Diggs still available here. I think I have to go Diggs. I didn't think he would be there for me. So I'm just going to snag Diggs. As much as like the running back premium is important, we're just going to roll with Diggsy here and see what comes back around after the turn.
Yeah, the upper elite tier of wide receiver is just so heavy here, and getting an absolute smash guy like Diggs at the top, don't think you can pass that one up. Love Adams, love Eckler, but even in a half-point PPR like we were seeing on Underdog, Stephon Diggs being here, I think that is a smash landing spot for us to be able to nab him here at the 9 with Bijan going right off the board in front of us. Are on the quick turn here. We got CD Lamb and Devontae Adams going off right after our pick. 2 of our guys directly off the board as we had it. Is Austin Eckler still seeing a little bit of a value decrease just because of the – nope, he's not. Austin Eckler goes right off the board as I'm talking about him. So are we trying to see if these JT or Saquon come back to us right here? And then do we nab that Josh Allen stack if they don't?
I would love to get a Josh Allen stack just to have it. Not gonna lie to you. So if he is there, I'm gonna have a tough time passing. It's always a tough thing though, taking quarterback this early, especially with what's on the board. Like if it was Amon-Ra, man, see if Amon-Ra was there and they took Saquon, I'd have no problem doing it. What are your thoughts here? You think is it worth it taking, the running back this early? Should I just take my stack and roll with it?
I think you either take.
I think
I'm fine either way on taking the stack. I just lean into the stack, man. We can get the running backs later. Just take the stack, build through that stack. We'll take the Josh Allen. We'll build around this Bills offense as we go throughout the rest of this draft. See if we can get another one or two pieces. Maybe a Dalton Kincaid, although I expect he's going pretty highly in these drafts just by where he's going in like KTC value and dynasty rankings right now. So it'll be interesting to see where all these rookie tight ends are going because there's not much else other than like this top 4 of tight end. But having this top tier quarterback, we can just basically punt quarterback for a pretty good amount of the time here and just worried about really filling out these position players.
Yeah, a lot of what I like to look at with these drafts is I usually like to look a few picks ahead, right? I have not refreshed my ADP. I mean, it's refreshed here, but I haven't refreshed mine. And so as I'm looking at the board in comparison, my next pick or our next pick here is going to be at the 33 and then at 40. And so in that range, we're looking at Lamar, potentially Ramondre. I'm going to throw him into the queue here. Travis Etienne, because I do want to try and get a running back, ideally, Jahmyr Gibbs, just in comparison to some of the wide receivers on the board. Maybe Najee might be a decent value here as well. So I'm just kind of marking down some of these guys in that 33 to 40 range. I was trying to see if anyone's just below that that might sneak up. Brees Hall, I doubt would be there. Jacobs and Henry. Those were the two that I was perennially seeing in the mid to late third round. And I don't think that that's happening anymore. I feel like now everyone is kind of aware of what's happening in both of their situations, and they're just going to get the rock. So, and there goes Derrick Henry at the 24 slot. So,
Derrick Henry already off the board. I mean, if we can get that Brees Hall or that Josh Jacobs to roll back around to us, I don't think you can pass up on that value. Seems pretty good with where they're locked in. I know Brees Hall did have a guy drafted behind him in Izzy, but I'm not scared about that in terms of just Best Ball Mania and building out a running back room. Not scared at all about Brees Hall potentially coming back, but like you said, it'd be a long shot, I think, for him to make it back here for the next 8 picks. Is there any thought if these tight ends do fall? I see Andrews here on the board. We could lock up 3 positions from the top, but I don't know if I really want to build the top end from just all 3 positions right off the bat. With a premium position at the quarterback and tight ends, I really like to try to hit one of those 2 and then kind of punt the other one a little bit, or at least wait a little bit longer than hammering out 2 of them in the top 3 rounds. So I think if we can get some of these running backs falling to us, the ones that are on the board, and man, if Jacobs can get back, I would love to see a Josh Jacobs fall here to this 3-9.
So 57, 64. I'm just kind of looking ahead again, next few picks. What I'm noticing is, and how I like to play this is, I do like to look at, so 57, just putting some guys in that range. And then 64, you can mix in Swifty. All right. So I just wanted to put those in there because what I'm noticing is people are auto queuing or autopilot. And so if they're on autopilot, they're going to draft by ADP. And that just kind of gives me an idea of, okay, am I going to find some value later where people are just going to be picking up whatever's on the board? And that's something I do like to look for is anything going to slip to me later? And if that's the case, maybe I look at a different position group a little bit earlier, because once we get into what's my next slot here, the 50s range, like people are going to be auto queuing TJ Hawkinson, Jerry Judy, Drake London over each other, where I might be more interested in a McLaurin, Pittman, and Kirk, just kind of throwing out, some names, for example. So that is something that I am kind of watching. Yeah. So
let's go back up to the top of the board. We do have Josh Jacobs and Brees Hall. So if they don't go back to back, we get one of them. Josh Jacobs does go. So can we slip through a Brees Hall? He does already have 2 running backs.
Oh,
and he took Ramondre Stevenson over Brees Hall. I think you got to go Brees Hall here, man.
It's the injury, right? Like that's the only thing that people are legitimately concerned about is the injury. Yeah, let me swipe him up. Actually, let me just click him in here. Let's not mess around.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're looking at
Brees Hall. Let's just lock that in there so I don't have to worry about it.
In a tournament style like this, you're really only caring about the late end of the season. You're worried about making it to the playoffs and then advancement through the playoffs. I think the Brees Hall should be should be perfectly fine after about like week 3, week 4 at the latest. And so I'm not worried at all. We can backfill running backs to fill out the first couple of weeks. Brees Hall, if he's healthy down the stretch, which is where it really matters, perfectly fine taking a Brees Hall here, even with the slight injury concerns that still linger out there.
So I am up in 3 picks here, and really the last one in my queue is ETN. So pick 40. I mean, I'm going to be looking at Ridley, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Watson, Kenneth Walker. Like, uh, what are your thoughts at this point in the draft with us having Allen, Brees, and Diggs?
Yeah, not really. Definitely not looking at the quarterback position as we already have Allen, ETN falling. I think you got to hammer home the running backs. I think that's a really good week one, like just a perfect complement to Brees Hall if he does start a little bit slower off of that injury. There he goes, though. So we're not going to be able to do that. I'd be looking at
Kenneth
probably
Walker?
the wider Kenneth Walker, man. I just don't know what role is going to look like with Charbonnet there. If
Yeah.
I don't go with the running back here, I'd like to see what the next running back is on the board, if it's Miles Sanders, or if we would be looking at the wide receivers of like a DJ Moore would probably be my top one on the board right now.
So my next pick is 56, which is why I queued him 57, I believe. So I'd be in this Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins range. So there are going to be running backs there, Damian Pierce, Dalvin Cook as well the next time. So maybe I do go with wide receiver here. So let's look at it. Really, Hopkins, Watson. What are your thoughts with those three?
Hopkins being in Arizona still scares me. Ridley, I don't know how he's going to perform coming back. I'd almost just lean on the upside shot of Watson, in my opinion. Either Watson, Judy, or Keenan Allen would probably be mine.
Let's take we already got a stud. Let's just take a shot on Christian Watson and hope that he has some boom weeks.
Yep, perfectly
It'll be a
fine there.
different build, right?
It's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be a different build here. Obviously, you're banking on Jordan Love actually coming through and performing, and you're banking on Christian Watson being the true alpha in this wide receiver core. Truthfully, I don't think there's that much. I know Jaden Reed did just got brought in here. You've got the tight ends that came in as well, but outside of Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs, I don't think there's really anybody to contend with the wide receiver position with Christian Watson. So if the offense is able to be efficient, I think Christian Watson's got the highest upside of all of those guys, like DeAndre Hopkins with the likes of Clayton Tune or Colt McCoy for the first half of the year really just doesn't give me any hope. And then you're banking on the next one that I probably have up after that is Keenan Allen, and with that's one where I think he might be a little bit discounted just because of the age factor there. And so it was a little bit of a reach though. Just playing the board by ADP, I think Christian Watson was the pick there.
Yeah, I mean, there's part of me that really wanted to go Kenneth Walker. Like Kenneth Walker, he was one that was going in the third round. He was going ahead of Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb, like that back in second, right around where Brees Hall was going. So it's really interesting to see him like that low into the third. I mean, we're in the fourth round here. I mean, we're going into the fifth, and he finally came off the board at 410. So might be an extreme value there. You know, we like you said, we don't know what it's going to play out like, but I'm with you. I'm perfectly fine with Christian Watson simply because he's my wide receiver too, essentially, and he can smash. We've seen what he can do on the field. Jordan Love is the locked in guy. Seems like they had good rapport last year. I know it was at a very small sample size, but they spent the capital on him, and it's what him, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, two rookie tight ends. Like Christian Watson's going to get his fair share of targets with whatever passing volume that offense actually has. So, yeah, I don't mind it. And it's going to be a unique build. So, I think that's going to help out too with it being a little bit different and potential stacking opportunity later too.
All right. Didn't think it was going to happen. Aaron Jones did just go off the board. I was going to ask if Aaron Jones somehow made it back. Would that be a thing where we could build two elite stacks to the Green Bay offense and the Buffalo offense?
Ooh.
And then you could possibly get the Jordan Love later to fill out that QB2 role. But Pipe Dream got a little bit shut down early. Didn't think there was any chance that one was happening. 9 picks in front of us. So are we probably looking to hammer home a little bit more, lean the running back here, as we're kind of in that tier where I think we fall off a little bit after these guys that we have starred coming up: the Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, Damian Pierce, Dalvin Cook still with the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, he could be severely undervalued if he doesn't end up moving. And with each passing day, it seems like he's more and more of a lock to be in that offense.
Yeah, I'm at the 57 and 64. And so, like, just kind of playing ADPs, I don't know if I really want to reach for Dalvin. I might be able to sneak him in here. I guess that's like the debate. Would I rather have Dalvin now, hope someone else slides down, or take a J.K. Dobbins? Man, my love for J.K. Dobbins, man. It's
I
probably
do.
just unfounded, and I don't know if I can pass on him if he's there.
Oh no, I
But
mean J.K. Dobbins is there too, man. I wouldn't have any reservations about taking J.K. Dobbins. You could probably even get Dalvin Cook on this backswing after 6 picks go off in between this turn. If you really wanted to just double tap the running back, I wouldn't have any concerns about that either. And George Kittle's actually slipping here a little bit too. If you wanted to take a
oh
little bit earlier
man,
of a tight end.
yeah, I think, and I really like George Kittle too, just because the best ball aspect, right? Like his boom weeks are going to be very boomy, and so like I'm very very much interested in that. JSN, I am not with what they have with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, all of those weapons, and here we are on the clock. I'm just gonna let it go. With all the other tight ends in this range, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna
Okay.
take the running back scarcity, and I'm just gonna go with Dobbins here and not mess around and find out. Um, so yeah, let me just take JK. Young. I got the ACL running back room, right? Like I'm hoping and praying for the ACLs of both of these guys right now.
J.K. Dobbins should be fine coming back. There was nothing really added to that running back room as we're coming back around into this year. And so it's really just J.K. Dobbins and a couple of other filler guys. I think Gus Edwards is still hanging around if he's able to get back and healthy. And, maybe we do actually see George Kittle slip a little bit here. If George Kittle comes back on this turn, I don't know how I could pass that one up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at that one real hard here. I think that's what's gonna be the big debate. If Dalvin Cook and George Kittle are there, I will have a real tough time passing on Dalvin Cook, man. Like that running back room upside would just be unreal. I would have okay, good. We don't have to
Oh,
worry about Kittle.
takes that one out.
All right, now I'm just praying that Dalvin's there.
One more
So,
pick, man. One more pick.
come
Let's go.
come on, take JSN. I know you want to. All right, Addison, I'm cool with
Addison
that.
will take
Give me,
it. Hammer home that
yep.
Dalvin Cook, man. Brees Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin Cook to start off a running back room in a half PPR format. Man, if those guys can stay healthy throughout the year, and even if Brees Hall takes a little bit to come back, like we were saying earlier, if we could build that running back room for the first part of the year, oh yeah, like how this team is coming together right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big thing I want to make sure, that we both note is that, this is not like the big board. The big board was 20 rounds. This one is 18. So when we do structure our team build, as far as, our roster construction, we need to make sure we keep that kind of in mind. We do have a ways to go between picks here because we are up at 88. Wait a second. Yeah, 81 and 88 are our next two picks, and then 105 and 112. So 105, 112. Just want to take note. I like to just kind of look 4 picks ahead if I can.
Yeah, is this a point where has Kincaid already come off the board actually, as we have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, possible double stack to the tight end?
Let me check here. I'm
Nope,
just
he's right there.
queuing the ADP
116
range.
ADP.
116. Oh, not what I meant to do. It's all jumping on me here. I'm not actually marking these guys as guys that I want. So if for those of you watching at home, I do not sit here and just have Odell Beckham and AJ Dillon in my queue because I want those guys. And that is just how I can keep in mind which picks I have coming up next, my ADP range, so that I know 105, 106, and then I know that I'm going to be in that 113 to 116 range. Just kind of gives me an idea of what's out there. And then I will start queuing as we get closer to my next pick so that I kind of have an idea of what's on the board. I have taken quarterbacks out of this. Doesn't look like, with us having Josh Allen, I'm comfortable going, talking roster construction, 2 quarterbacks. I don't really want a third since we are so limited with our roster construction side of things, like our roster spots. What kind of quarterback? Like when you really look at it, how low do you want to go? Would you rather have like a high end QB2, like a Goff? Like what kind of, when you build that way, what do you usually like to do?
I like to swing for the fences, man. And in this type of a format, I like to play it by all perfect scenarios. So I'm playing this whenever I take Josh Allen that early at what was it, the 204 there as we took him
Yeah.
early. Yeah, 16 overall. I mean, you have to play it, in my opinion, whenever you're playing this type of a tournament style, saying he's going to be like a QB1, QB2, QB3 overall in the league, and he's going to play all 17 games. Now, maybe you definitely want to get one late just in case. Obviously, everybody's going to have down weeks at times, and you want that second quarterback to fill in. But I'm playing on the assumption that he's going to play basically all 17 games except for his bye week, and that's really the only place that I really want to be filling in that quarterback too. And so I'm good going down. I mean, I don't know where Jordan Love is going in this ADP right now, but he'd be a perfect one to probably stack late with a Christian Watson type. I think he's going to be playing for all 17 games. He's going here at the 142 overall, so 12th round guy. I think that's probably the spot around this range where I'm really looking to get a quarterback to hammer home running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and probably just wide receivers here for a little while as we have a really good core of running backs already built up in Brees Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, it's kind of getting scary. When you look at like, I'm just going to look at wide receivers here. I'm going to put a wide receivers and running backs. Next pick ADP typically is 82, so 81 right there. So I'm looking at Deontay. Hopefully, maybe Deontay slips here, and we can get him. Uh, the rookies for me are a big question mark. As much as QJ, I like the potential, but you have Keenan Allen, you have Mike Williams, Zay Flowers. You have other established guys, and we just don't know what his role is. So I have a tough time, but I'm going to get one of Marquise Brown or Deontay Johnson.
And we
Deontay
get
Johnson. So is
Deontay.
there
Beautiful.
anyone else that really stands out here that you feel like would be worth it?
Not in my mind. The only thing I
I
would say
mean,
to the rookie side of things, I'm Deontay Johnson though, as we make this pick. The only thing I would say to the rookies though, I don't want them this early because we are in a start three wide receiver here, correct? Just for the format of what we have to start each and every week. And so I don't really want to play around with the core of that wide receiver build. I love the floor that Deontay Johnson is projected to give us in this type of a format in this offense, 4 or 3 wide receivers. But after that, that's where I think I start trying to take a couple stabs at the rookies if they do start falling here, because we always do see these rookies perform better in the second half of the season. And if they do start to hit down
true.
the stretch, then that's the advancement rate. That's where we really care about smashing those weeks 16, 17, 18, or 15, 16, 17 to really advance us through the playoffs.
So I was just looking at running back and wide receiver because that was position of need, right? Next pickup is in 4 slots here. So we have Deshaun Watson still on the board, Dak Prescott looking at quarterbacks, which would lock in my quarterback room. However, it's not necessarily a need having Josh Allen, but it could be a nice luxury if I'm able to grab a Dak. However, there is a tight end here, and I'm really bullish on Evan Ingram, especially for
Yeah,
this
you are.
season. I don't know. Maybe you should talk me out of it, but I mean, just looking at the tight ends here, we got Evan Ingram, Fryermuth, Kincaid, Schultz. Like, to me, Evan Ingram is in a different tier with those guys. Maybe you can convince me on Schultz. All right, we are on the clock here.
The
Um,
the only reason I'd talk you
James
off of
Conner.
Ingram is for Kincaid later. That'd be my only thought process. But if you want to lock up 2 mid-range tight ends, I wouldn't have any problem going here in the next couple of rounds, Evan Ingram and Kincaid to get the stack and a really locked in guy that we like in Evan Ingram.
I think I'm going to do it.
Go for it,
All right,
man.
it's a
Love it.
gamble. This is just something this is a YOLO love squad here is what this is going to be. But there is, if I didn't have the 3 running backs I have right now, I probably would have grabbed a James Conner, David Montgomery type, just because those two have touchdown upside and they both should get solid workloads this upcoming season. So unfortunately, we're going to miss out on all of these guys here just because our next pick isn't until the 105. But I really like the core we have: Josh Allen, Brees Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin Cook. Got Stephon Diggs, Christian Watson, Deontay Johnson. I do want more wide receiver bodies. I'm going to throw that out there right now. Definitely
That's
need more wide receiver bodies.
Yep. That's the part that I'm willing to really focus on here outside of maybe like I said, I would love that Kincaid stack, to be honest. I haven't been the biggest Kincaid guy, but if you're looking for the true upside stack swing, I think that's Kincaid here in the next couple of rounds, but we'll see if that comes back. Maybe he slips a little bit, but I doubt it. I feel like his ADP is actually a little bit suppressed. Maybe I'm living in the dynasty rookie drafts that we've been doing where he's been going off way earlier than I think he should, but I feel like he might be a little depressed compared to the relative fantasy space that we've been sitting in the last couple of weeks or so since the draft. But I am with you that you need to hammer out the wide receiver here. The running back, I think we can just throw bodies in. And if these running backs do stay healthy for us, the core is there for the running back, man. Again, playing for that perfect outcome upside, just believing that the running backs stay healthy and then filling in with bodies later, just two, like three more, and then just hammering home wide receivers to really flush that out and try to hit some of those spike weeks at the wide receiver position to hit the lineup week in and week out.
Yeah, as I'm looking at the ADP, so our next slot is the 105, which puts us in Odell, JMO, Elijah Moore, Juju kind of range for wide receiver. Um, I know the safe one is Juju in my opinion, just because I feel like he's going to get targets, but the upside isn't necessarily there. Um,
I think your
Gosh, I still
upside
have,
swing there is Odell, as much as I dislike it.
yeah, I know, and that's I know, man. Like I just don't know what the offense looks like. Like I know J.K. Dobbins survived, right? Which is why I wanted to take him. He didn't get no one drafted over him. It's a new offensive team. Things are going to be different there in Baltimore. So I just don't know what it looks like. Are they going to have the same passing volume that they have over the past few years, where like truly you want Mark Andrews and whoever the number one wide receiver is? They have Zay Flowers, they have Odell, they do still have Bateman for the believers, and it just makes it really tough. But I am with you. Like Odell looked really good prior to the ACL tear when he was in LA, and really liked what I saw out of him. But a year and a half older, another ACL tear. Like what
Are
is
the
this going to
legs
look
still
like?
there?
Yeah,
The legs
exactly.
still there under Odell. I
Oh
mean,
man.
all of the contract that they gave him, they did give him a pretty sizable contract, and the way that he's going to get the remaining $3 million on that $18 million in total deal is by him being the one of this offense. So like I said, it's the no, and he's off the board,
Yeah.
so we don't even have to make that pick. A little bit off the board, and Kincaid's going off the board. I did think that his ADP was a little bit suppressed. I think he went about 18 picks before ADP, so Kincaid might be a little bit lower in just the ADP board on Underdog than it is actually going to be playing out here over the next week or so.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of movement as everything goes through here. Not only will the schedule change things, but figuring out where these players' roles are in their offenses. And I don't blame anybody taking a shot on Kincaid, like and reaching a little bit early. I mean, that is about 20 picks above ADP because I believe he is a 116 was his ADP. So you're you're taking a pretty big gamble on a rookie tight end, where historically they don't necessarily hit for you as rookies. But we did see last year we got some good rookie production out of tight ends, and so I'm hopeful because I do love Dalton Kincaid. As far as rookies go, he's 1A 1B with Michael Mayer in my personal rankings. So I'm okay with that, but definitely a gamble. And we're about on the clock, and there's a guy that I'm gonna have a hard time saying no for.
You're gonna have a hard time saying no to Alvin Kamara, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
He's there
I,
for you if you want him, and I couldn't blame you for not doing it. You've got J.K. Dobbins and Dalvin Cook to carry you for the first couple of weeks until the potential suspension and Brees Hall coming off of that injury, as we've talked about already, and then you just have four hammers at running back down the stretch. Man, I can't blame you at all for going Alvin Kamara there. If
yeah.
you can get all of these guys to the playoffs and actually get to that point where you're pushing through, man, that's going to be it's hard backfield to stop whenever you're putting all four of those in your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can only flex the three, but still, like I know I feel. Damn it, Juju! I was really hoping Juju was a fall
Damn,
to me
that
there.
was the one I was seeing too.
All right, all right, definitely got to think quick here. With what's on the board, like Zay Jones is definitely down there for me. Uh, we do have Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. Is it worth it even at this point? Otherwise, we're looking at Elijah Moore, Lazard,
Man,
Jacoby.
It's rough because I think you got to go wide receiver here to flush out this room with only 3 in the room right now. I would love Devon A Chain here as well, but I just don't think we can have any more capital put into this running back position as we sit here currently.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna have to go. I was about to say Jacoby Myers. Um, do I just take Lazard? I mean, that sounds awful.
Either that or you take Mingo and hope on the upside of Jonathan Mingo in his rookie year. I think those are your 2
God, that
shots.
sounds fucking awful. Um, Upside, right? That's what we're going
Shoot
for here. It's
shoot
the
for the
only Mingo
stars.
that I'm gonna have.
Shoot for the stars, man. I think that's
I'm
your
shooting
upside
myself
play.
right now. Um, felt so gross to do.
Like
All right, next
what's the
pick.
upside in Lazard? Like that's such a floor play, man. With Garrett Wilson
Yeah,
there, as long as he's healthy in there, I know he's got the connection with Aaron Rodgers and what's your OC that just went over there
New York.
from the Denver
Hackett.
team?
Yeah,
Hackett. Yeah, I mean
Nathaniel
he's got
Hackett.
the chemistry with those guys, and I really think that was more of why Allen Lazard was brought in. I mean, he's almost a tight end as a slot receiver out there. He's true just blocking wide receiver. And while he's going to get catches, I just don't think those upside games are going to be there for Lazard. We've already got a nice floor guy, in my opinion, in Deontay Johnson. You've already got Christian Watson still on the squad, but that doesn't have any correlation as they're now on different teams. But I think Mingo, as much as I'm not really that much of a fan either, I think that's our upside shot here. So as much as it was gross, I think it was the right way to go.
Oh, like I want to throw up in my mouth. Like legitimately, that is the only Mingo share I have. I have not taken him in any rookie drafts because he keeps going way too early for my own comfort. But he is the wide receiver 4 on this team. He's the wide receiver 4. I was talking crap about Kincaid going 20 picks early, and I just took Jonathan Mingo 20 picks early. Oh, that feels bad. But you know what? Hey, wide receiver 4, upside. Carolina's going to be bad. They're going to throw a lot. I just hope he's on the field.
The issue is with how this draft played out, though, man. I mean, you were either going to reach on Allen Lazard, you were going to reach on like our next one off the board. Here's Tyler Boyd in ADP or Jonathan Mingo. The only one that holds any upside, in my opinion, is Mingo. So the board just didn't really play out well for us. The running back, as we went running back, the wide receivers just started falling off the board. And so while I love the running back room,
that's what like this
you
is
got to
what
pick your poison in
happens.
best ball. You got to pick your poison. You're never going to build a fully complete roster here in Best Ball Mania. You're always going to be a little bit deficient at some point. And we have Evan Ingram at tight end. We've got Josh Allen. You just can't forget that. Like we've got every position is truly locked down at the starting position. It's just going to be lacking a little bit of depth here as we go through this wide receiver room, probably from what we would really like. But you're going to be deficient somewhere. This is just where we think that we are. If Jonathan Mingo isn't, everything he's sometimes hyped up to be by some people.
And truly, it's going to be the of all the positions playing best ball. 50% of my leagues or over 50% of my leagues are best ball leagues. Like that's the position I want to gamble on. Running back I can get upside with, and obviously if injuries happen, like that's truly unfortunate. But wide receiver I can catch some smashes on, and as you see, like the ADP that I have queued here, DJ Chark, again another Carolina guy, so that's a little bit iffy. But DPJ could be a big one. Josh Downs in Indy. There are going to be like Zay Jones is still on the board here. We still have Tyler Boyd, excuse me, and we're up in 5 picks. So I don't know if Boyd's going to make it, but there's still going to be some guys here that do slide. I mean, Adam Thielen. I feel
again, another Carolina guy though.
I know, right? It's tough, but if Adam Thielen's healthy, like he's easily a guy that can score you two red zone touchdowns if that Carolina offense is any sort of competent. That's the big question, though.
Right? It's leaning way too heavily into the rookies for me. But is a Bryce Young still on the board here from the quarterbacks if we were to double tap Carolina wide receivers and just try to lean into that offense?
He is. He's actually available below Jordan Love. So, yeah, if we swing and miss on Love, it's there.
It is there, man.
You know what? The way the
If
board's
you
playing,
if you want to lean into an offense, I mean, you can take a Tyler Boyd and have a pretty nice floor every week. Yeah, I think it's just kind of what do you want to play here? You can either shoot for the upside and trying to stack a Carolina team and hope that that offense clicks year one. It's not a bet that I want to take a lot. You could take it here. I could also easily see just trying to play out a little bit of a depth game, the wide receiver with Tyler Boyd, though.
yeah, I'm going to take Tyler Boyd, and the only reason I'm doing that, I'm not shutting down that possibility. But since there is DJ Chark and Adam Thielen still on the board here, I'm willing to take whichever one is available with the
Okay.
next pick. But this is the great debate here. Our next pick is the 136 ADP wise, 154. So our next pick after that is 153.
Oh,
So we're talking 153 and
play
160.
out
So like it's
perfectly.
really,
It'd play out
yeah,
perfectly
it
for Adam
could.
Thielen and Bryce Young by ADP standards. If nobody reaches at all, it would look like it would seem to play out perfectly. But do you have a preference? I lean Adam Thielen over DJ Chark. I don't know if you lean any other
Yeah.
way, but that's just me.
If Adam Thielen's healthy, I feel like they're going to give him the ball, and it looks like. So as I mentioned before, the big thing, and again, why I'm excited about what's happened here with all of these auto cues is the fact that I'm going to be able to do things like this. So Dalton Schultz is still on the board, which does make me think a little bit. Not going to lie, 106. We're 30 picks below ADP. Schultz or Thielen?
It's Thielen for the stack. Schultz to just lock up a tight end too. I could go either way.
Yeah, since we have a tight end and wide receiver is our biggest weakness of an area of need, we do have 6 now. So again, thinking about roster construction, I want 2 quarterbacks, so we're going to go 2. I would probably get 5 to 6. Let me do some math here. 2, 5, 8, 3. Is that 18? 2, 5, 8, 3. That's 7, 15, 18. Yep.
That's your 18.
So I could do a 2, 5, 8, 3 potentially and get a 5th running back or a 2, 6, 7, 3. I do want 3 tight ends. I don't know about you. Are you comfortable with just
as much as I love
2?
Evan Ingram, I probably go 3 tight ends unless I have a Kelsey or Andrews in this for Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson. I don't even know if I put Pitts in there anymore with what we've seen from him for the first 2 years. So I'm perfectly fine going with a 2-5-8-3 build. I think is probably the way I would want to build this one. Betting on the running backs to stay healthy is a little bit of a concern, but again, shooting for that perfect outcome upside. You're shooting for this Carolina offense to potentially stay healthy if we can get that Bryce Young swing back to us here, and then shooting for the health of the running backs, and then just filling out with wide receiver. I think that's the most optimum outcome build for this roster as it currently sits here, as we're in the middle of the 12th round.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like where we're at. I really, really do. I think we got high end upside players on all across the board. Running back in particular, who could just have legitimate RB1 weeks by any one of these 4, and I wouldn't be shocked if they were the RB1 on any given week. Josh Allen, QB1 upside. Diggs, wide receiver 1 upside. Christian Watson, I think, could crack the top 12. I don't know if he's going to be number 1 overall. I mean, he did it last year. He got 3 touchdowns in a game, but I think wide receivers where I'm going to be lacking like that true home run upside. But I'm actually very happy with how this team has been built so far. Like this one's pretty good. I like this for the first one pre schedule drop.
Yeah, so looking at as we kind of sit here, Matthew Stafford off the board. Okay,
that's why my jaw just dropped.
Okay, it's a bold one there, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for you. But
auto cues, man. Auto cues. Here's what happens.
Yeah. All right. So we are here sitting 5 picks until we're up again. Is this just smash Bryce Young if he's there to fill out that quarterback 2 spot?
Yeah, I
Jordan
think
Love is there
so.
too. I mean, we do still have a stack with Christian Watson. No, he's not there anymore. Okay, never mind. I was going to go into Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave to fill out a tight end 2 or 3 as well. So we could have had a stack either way. We'll see if we can still potentially have a second stack with Bryce Young here as we go throughout the process too.
I think now that Love is off the board, I got to go with Bryce Young. If they were both there, I would might have taken the gamble and had one roll around. But there's enough wide receivers and other players that I'm interested in that I'm comfortable with just seeing this thing through. So 3 picks here to go. Let's
I
just
think the
see what
only one
happens.
that's a concern to us is this guy right in front of us, since he only has one quarterback. Let's see if we make it through.
Oh, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Come on, you
I
only
know
got
this
3
ain't.
running backs. You need running back here.
Yes, he took Chark.
Or you
I'm
can
okay with that.
take Chark too. We'll take Chark's quarterback and Bryce Young. Let's go. It's a scary stack, man. I don't like betting on rookie quarterback stacks, but Bryce Young, Jonathan Mingo, Adam Thielen. Hopefully, this offense can click early. They've got a good offensive mind, in my opinion, and Frank Reich there. I know it hasn't worked out the last couple of years in Indy exactly well, but they've been trying to piecemeal it together with the likes of Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan with the degrading offensive line and a hurt offensive line in front of them. So I think they're looking with a little bit of a better outcome there in Carolina.
I will say that one of the things that Ray and Scott were talking about today was the fact that rumor around the league is Carolina wants to do things differently than the most of the league. They actually want to build through, vet wide receivers like Thielen coming in, and then taking rookies versus paying some high name ones. And they think that Bryce Young can actually elevate that wide receiver room based on his accuracy that he has. So, it does make things interesting long term. But short term, it's also one of those things where they do have weapons. Like, let's not act like DJ Chark's just washed. Like he's a good wide receiver. Adam Thielen is a vet's vet, a pro's pro, all the things you want to say. If you can give him 100 targets, he's going to give you 808. Like that's just what Adam Thielen does. So I'm cautiously optimistic for Bryce Young. I don't know what his potential is going to be year one, but very
QB2
interesting
for
to
us
hear.
too, right?
Yeah,
You're just
QB2.
we don't need him to be producing a ton of spike weeks. We just need to have him give us a floor. If something were to happen to Josh Allen throughout a bye week, hopefully they don't overlap bye weeks as we're sitting here. Dawson
We are
Knox off board 1 pick. Okay, let's go. Where are you thinking?
I'm looking at. I honestly am considering KJ Osborne. That offense has passed quite a bit. KJ was the number 3 in that offense and still got 100 targets last year. So I don't know that a whole lot changes for him with Addison coming in there. So I'm looking at him. Um, Josh Downs. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to take KJ.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
It's
good
too
with the
late. I
KJ
gotta take
Osborne.
KJ
As much as I like Addison,
or
and
Josh
we got
Downs
Josh
because
Downs.
it auto picked for me.
I saw that wheel spinning. I was like, oh no,
Sometimes
let's see
that
if it's
happens.
hey, Josh Downs, can he outproduce Alec Pierce there? I don't think that's too much of an ask. I don't think that's too much of a leap and a bound to ask for. So we'll see what Anthony Richardson, another rookie quarterback, can do with that offense there in Indianapolis. So hope.
Yep.
I like Josh Downs though. He seems a little bit undervalued in my opinion for what we thought of him going into the pre-draft process.
Yeah, now we are wrapping things up here. So our next pick is going to be our 15, 16. So we're going to be at what is that? The 77 and 84. And then we will wrap up with 201 and 208. 77, 84, 201, 208. So I'm looking tight ends for sure. As you can see, this lovely queue of tight ends here that just got dwindled by one more. So I would love to at least get one more tight end right here, or see what running backs are available with this next pick. I'm good with taking another dart on wide receiver, but I do feel like we have 7 now. I would at least like to get one more tight end with this next pick if there's one available, and then we can get our 5th running back down the stretch here.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm leaning as well. The only thing is I'm looking here at the top of the board, Taysom Hill, there being at the top of the tight end board. I know he doesn't actually play tight end there, and that's not where he scores his fantasy points. But now we do have. It looks like Foster Moreau is actually going to be back and playing on the field this year, and you have Jawan Johnson still there. I know that Adam Troutman did just get shipped out, but the good thing is Taysom Hill doesn't make his points through that position. I just don't know what that role is really going to look like with a more established vet, as I view him in Derek Carr compared to Andy Dalton. But we'll see. I think I would actually lean more into a Michael Mayer over Taysom Hill here if I was to rank these guys. But I know that's obviously we're just sorting by ADP here.
Yeah, I just queued him by ADP, and I have no problem with that. In the big board, I did take a bunch of Taysom Hill because one, like you said, I feel like Moreau is going to be more of a Troutman replacement on the field and how that offense is going to be built and used. And then I think that they're still going to gadget Taysom Hill the way they want to. However, because I am fairly overexposed, I think he's one of my top tight ends as far as my exposure for the big boards. That I would like to diversify with this, and I don't have a ton of Michael Mayer. Really, all he has to overcome is Austin Hooper in that offense, but it is still one of those offenses that I do have questions on. Sam Laporta, I feel the same way about. So there is, questions around all that. Let's just look at tight end here in this range. It feels I like Conklin a lot. I think that he's undervalued beyond belief, but there are a lot of mouths to feed in New York. Gesicki, Hayden Hurst, more Carolina. I
I
think
don't think
we
we
can
need any more
just
of that offense, to be honest.
I know.
I, I think once you get to that like quad stacking point, I think you're almost taking the stack a little bit too far. So I'm fine with staying away from Hayden Hurst there.
Yeah, I think that he's it, it's just not one of those offenses, right? Like if it was, the Chiefs, the Bengals, one of the high flying, high powered offenses, sure, I'd be okay with it. Carolina ain't it. Let me just tell you that right now. Carolina ain't it. I hope I'm wrong because this team would love for Carolina to have a potent offense, but whew, we'll see. We'll see. I am hoping for Michael Mayer here. Anyone else kind of stand out to you?
No, not with the value that you're still able to get with Tyler Conklin. And I think that would be a perfect three tight ends to really fill out this roster as we look here. We've got what, four picks left to really fill this thing out with the 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. So we're looking with the four picks here, two tight ends, probably one running back, one wide receiver. And then we can get that perfect 2-5-8-3 build that we were talking about a little bit earlier in the draft.
Yeah, and when you have, again, we'll see what running backs are available. I think there's going to be another decent one that we can take a shot on. Um, you know, I, I feel good about it, but it is one of those things where, again, you're playing perfect lineup. All right, Rondale Moore came off the board. I think we're going to get our guy. I think we're going to get Michael Mayer here.
We only got one
Come
tight end
on,
in front of him, but we'll see. Maybe we get sniped one more time.
take a quarterback. Take a
Oh yeah, you need
quarterback.
you need a second quarterback. Come on, that's much more important than your second tight end.
Let's see what else is on the board here.
Is there anything
In
at
the
running back
seventh.
around this point that's even like Tank Bigsby's actually? I like Tank Bigsby. I think he's being pretty undervalued with his role there behind ETN.
He took Gesicki.
Gasicki.
All right. Well,
Okay.
that made my decision even easier. We're just going to take Michael Mayer here. There is a name that I just saw at wide receiver that I would love to get, and I always forget about him.
Isaiah
Um,
Hodgins.
but they have a ton of wide receivers there, but he's like the true outside receiver that plays different than anybody else that they have. So I'm gonna put him on here. Anyone else in this range stand out?
Tank, my
Just
guy,
that.
or Tank just went off the board, so I'm not really looking at any of the running backs that are still on the board. I don't think Fournette actually is a little bit interesting there, but
Yeah.
I think I'd probably try to lock up Isaiah Hodgins. I think you're right that they do have a lot of wide receivers there, but they have a lot of wide receivers that do the same thing. Isaiah Hodgins is really the only one there that I think can truly play that like outside X role soloed up on the other side. And so, yeah, I'd love some Isaiah Hodgins to fill out the end of this wide receiver room, get one more running back, get another tight end, and try to wrap this thing out. I love this draft, man. If this Carolina
I,
offense can be anything, this is a beautiful draft right here, man.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm actually very, very excited about this. I almost thought about instead of Hodgins, looking at your guy Khalil Shakir, or did he get taken
Shakira.
off the board? Shakira. I always call him Shakir. Whatever. That's Shakir. Yeah, you call him Shakira. That's right. That's right. He did get pulled off the board, thankfully. But I was looking at Hodgins and Shakir because again, Buffalo stack. Maybe he's the slot there. Everyone says it's going to be Kincaid, but I mean, let's be real. He's still a tight end. He's still a rookie. So he was one I was exploring here. Yeah, I think with the ADP, Conklin would be one. I do want to look at running back because I do kind of need to figure out what running back target would be of interest. I mean, I'm going to put Fournette on here because
You got
it's
to put Fournette there. Like he's going to play somewhere, and he's going to probably be a third down back wherever he goes. So I love some Fournette this late. Other names on this board, you can take the upside swing with Jerome Ford. Maybe he's really the only other guy there. Um, only other guy there if Nick Chubb were to go down. I mean, honestly, that could be a spot where Leonard Fournette actually goes this offseason before everything's said and done. So Jerome Ford's a guy that I'd probably highlight here. Looking down the board, maybe if you want to take a real upside swing, that Sean Tucker, and you just put him on. Lat Murray, if you want to put he's definitely not catching passes from Josh Allen, but you're just banking on the efficiency of the Buffalo offense.
I think we're going too low
think
now. I'm like scrolling down, and I'm like,
we're down there too far. You're not. Mo Ibrahim is he might not make a roster. Ronald Jones, no. I'd much rather take Malik Davis than Ronald Jones in the same offense.
I got them both on there. Just putting them both there.
Eric Gray is a little bit interesting, maybe if something were to happen to Saquon.
I don't want to like talking about our own team. It's like I don't want to play the injury game. Obviously, it's like we hope no one gets injured. It does happen, but I don't like to like bank on it. Like Eric Gray is a guy I just don't see getting any touches unless there's an injury. So like that's one. Lat Murray might actually get touches that Singletary's split the backfield with Zach Moss in the past. I could see Lat Murray getting some touches. Sean Tucker, they have talked about bringing in another running back in Tampa, so that's one that does concern me too. Patterson, I think, is going to get touches. Yeah, I'll throw up all the positions here just to show what's still available here in the round. I'm going to remove quarterback because
that's done. We're not taking another one. There's no shot at that. So
I might even just take off. I'm going to take off wide receiver too because we are done with wide receiver. There's no need to even look at those. So
yeah, I mean you could take a shot on like a Mecole Hardman, but you need a fifth running back here just to round out that room. And we've already got 8 in the wide receivers. That's going to make us overexposed there and just make us out of roster construction for this type of a format. So Leonard Fournette's the one here, man. Like if Leonard Fournette falls, I think that's the smash in my opinion.
I'm with you. I feel like I really want Tyler Conklin. Let me see what other tight ends there are. Like Johnny Woods, Noah Fant. Like I don't trust Fant, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Not with as many weapons as they now have in that offense. I'm with you.
Shoemaker might be the rookie. That might be the rookie late pick here.
All right, we do have one pick until we're up. Leonard Fournette did go, so where are we going now?
All right, that's unfortunate. What is CPAT? CPAT is the 214. I'm okay with that. I'm going to take.
You just take your Conklin here, and then we'll take whatever running back dart we want to for the 18th round.
Yep. So
all right,
let's just remove all these tight ends and hope and pray.
I want to bank on that Zach Evans. I know we hate him, but that Los Angeles Rams system only has he's only got acres in front of him. I mean, it's a shot. I think it's about as good of a shot as Jerome Ford, to be honest.
To be dead serious with you, I really wish we didn't have all the Carolina guys we have because I would take Chuba Hubbard here. No questions about it.
Yeah.
But I feel so overexposed, man.
Yeah, you can't go into both the passing and the ground game there with already having the double stack of the wide receiver room. I don't think you're not playing the upside shot there. So
I feel like if CPAT's there, I feel like CPAT's the answer.
With Bijan, with Algier.
Can you talk me out of it?
I feel sick to my stomach almost saying that I would go with with Zach Evans. But I just don't know what Patterson's role is going to be in that offense, man. It's already low passing volume. That's the only really role I see him having anymore. And he's going to be the third option behind Pitts and behind London.
Man, he's going to be the third option in the backfield, third option at wide receiver.
Maybe even behind Mac Hollins in the wide receiver game. I mean, and Zach Evans is off the board. Thank God I didn't have to talk you into making that pick, actually. Okay.
I feel like I have to take Chuba Hubbard here. Like, who else? Like, legit,
I'd be
20 seconds.
I'd be Chuba Hubbard or Jerome Ford. Those would be my only two that I'd really put the shot on here.
I'm gonna take the shot on a guy that got 8 touches last year.
It feels gross, man. But like, let me pull up that depth chart for you behind Nick Chubb there. It is absolutely nothing. Demetric Felton and John Kelly Jr. There's nothing else.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Let's go, Carolina.
You want to talk about a spot that I could see? Let's go, Carolina. We're just gonna freaking lean into this one because I just can't do it, man. You can try and talk me into Jerome Ford, and it might be the move. Like I guarantee there's gonna be a couple weeks in the season that you're gonna come, hit me up and be like, "Yo, how's that Jerome Ford and BBM4 treating you?" And I'm gonna be pissed because I didn't take him, and I feel awful leaning on Carolina like this, but I don't know, man. I really don't know.
8 touches. I can't fault you for not taking a guy who had 8 touches. This really does feel like an offense that's going to have somebody brought in, whether that's a Zeke brought in, the Fournette brought in that we were talking about earlier. Yeah. Maybe Hunt somehow re-signs after he's been asking to get out of Cleveland for the last 2 years or so and not really used there ever.
Wait, did Hunt get taken? Hunt did get taken, right?
Yeah, Hunt was taken a long while ago.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he's been off the board for a good bit. I don't know if there's anything better you could have done at the. I guess not a long while ago, but round or two.
It was a shot in the dark, man. It was a total shot in the dark. I think in hindsight, playing it differently. Yeah, playing it differently, I may have flip-flopped taking a wide receiver in a different spot and taking our 5th running back a few rounds earlier. But in all honesty, like looking at the wide receivers that are coming off the board, like Paris Campbell, Chase Claypool, Tim Patrick, like these aren't guys that I really want on my team. I could take Terrace Marshall, add to the Carolina team here, but
not for a 9th wide receiver. You just don't need that. I think you had to take the stab at the running back to fill that out a little bit further, but
yeah, I feel good with it. I got the roster construction that we talked about through 2583, so good with this.
Yeah, perfectly fine. I do think if we come away with that only having 1 pick where we would have tried to do something else and tried to flip flop picks, that's really the only pick that I'm looking back on as we sit here. We might I don't know if we're going to go back through the full board here or not, but that's the only pick that I really think you might have been able to play out differently. And if you're talking swapping a 15th for 18th round pick in the way that we took them off the board, I'm perfectly happy with a draft that goes that way, where I really only have 1 pick that I'm thinking we might have wanted to do a different way.
Yeah, I'd love to recap this, but for whatever reason, old Mike Pastrami here is stuck on zeros.
I mean, you can click on the grid board.
Click on the grid board. You're making me feel
where you see your name on the right side by your roster.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess that works too. I wanted to just look at my team. They're like,
okay. I thought you were trying to pull up the full board.
Oh no. But I see what you're saying. That Evan Ingram. So Jonathan Mingo here, Tyler Boyd, Adam Thielen. Like I'm good with all of these picks, man. Like maybe here, Josh Downs. I know I was actually looking to take. I forgot who I was going to take there, but
KJ Osborne
is probably. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I would have actually loved that KJ Osborne pick there. I mean, it's probably a wash. And it's honestly probably just a dart on either one of them. They're probably the wide receiver 3 for their respective offenses. So I'm good with that one going either way. Let's pull up this thing. Last pick was off the board. Let's see how it really all shaped out.
Yeah, let's try and see if we can come on. Completed. Let's go into it's still active. Okay. Well, now it's completed.
Now we're there. Okay, now it's back up.
Apparently not.
Well, that might be it then.
Yeah, that might be it then. We did have Josh Allen, and we had Bryce Young as our 2 quarterbacks. While I try to manage to bring this thing back up here, we
Brees
had our
Hall,
running back,
Alvin Kamara,
yeah,
J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin
Dalvin
Cook,
Cook
and Chuba Hubbard.
and Chuba Hubbard. Again, 4 high-end quality starters there that I feel really good about. 0 issues with that room. Lacks depth, so just needs to stay healthy, and Kamara needs to not get a major suspension. So that is a big part of it.
Yep.
Let's go to tight ends first because I know we have Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram, Tyler Conklin, and the third one that we took was Michael Mayer. Actually, the second one that we took off the board was Michael Mayer, Evan Ingram, and Tyler Conklin. Perfect 3 group of tight ends that I think we got some really good value on each of them. And as we see if we can pull this one up, I know that we can start going through the wide receiver room with Stephon Diggs, Christian Watson. But no, we got ourselves Deontay Johnson right after that. Then there was Josh Downs. Nope, we're not getting there.
It's not happening. So we are just going to wrap this up here with the 2 of us.
We got a solid bit of that roster just straight from memory though after going through that live for an hour. So I'm pretty happy with that.
The fact that Underdog failed us in the most important moment of this is just really just heartbreaking. But you know what? It is what it is.
Jonathan Mingo, Adam Thielen to stack with the Bryce Young pick.
Yep. Having Deontay, Watson, and Diggs as kind of like those 3 kind of core wide receivers. We did take some upside kind of dart throws in a way and just really banking on this Carolina offense. Not the one I really want to bank on. However, you got an offensive mind in Frank Reich. Hopefully that helps to some extent. Young rookie quarterback who is very accurate, and they're going to be losing a lot. So I think that's a recipe for, I'm hoping, throwing quite a bit. And if that's the case, then we're gonna have a real good shot at advancing with this one.
Yep. And then the last 2 wide receivers that we haven't mentioned yet were Tyler Boyd and Isaiah Hodgins. We got all 8 wide receivers in some form or fashion said to the stream right here. So putting out all 18 picks from memory, I'm kind of impressed with this there.
That is pretty dang good, and you know what's crazy? What's even crazier is right as we get that all finished up.
Right as we get all 18, we're finally able to pull it back up.
We are actually able to pull it back up here. And here I am just having fun. So Josh Allen, Bryce Young. I'm getting pulled. I'm getting pulled. Brees Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard. And then we got ourselves Stephon Diggs, Christian Watson, Deontay, Mingo, Tyler Boyd. We were missing that one, I think.
I got him at the end.
You did? Okay. And then we had Hodgins and Downs. All right. Ingram, Mayer, Conklin. Pretty solid squad. Definitely have some hopes and prayers, but high upside if things do hit. And yeah, that was fun. Crazy ending. And yeah, any last things you want to touch on here?
Man, I love this team. I think the only thing that we're really banking on here, we've been preaching it. If Carolina can hit in this offense, and that offense in its rookie year, this team can go pretty far, man. Need some health in the running back room. Wide receivers need some spikes here and there, but absolutely love this build, man, for our first Best Ball Mania 4 that we did live for y'all. We'll get this video out here soon.
Yep, 2583 for that construction. So love that. And again, as a reminder that Underdog Fantasy has partnered with Destination Devi. Make sure you do use code TFDR for up to a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. And if you do deposit $10 or more, you will get a 1-year access to the Destination Devi Discord. We will be in there. Ray, Scott, everybody that's doing anything with Underdog will be in there, have some incredible sheets. Dynasty Berries put a lot of work together. So has Koopa and Jay Rich. So there's a ton of good stuff in there that you can use to help you build your BBM4 lineup. So you gotta be there, whether that's through this promo or if you go to patreon.com/all gas. But I think that wraps us out of here, man. I'm just gonna kill it and hope you all have a great rest of your night. And thank you for joining us here in the fantasy draft room.